Hey guys, this is OddOneGaming. This is going to be another Raid Shadow Legends video. So we know that all of the talk nowadays is about the Awakening, it's about the Blessings, and it's about the Iron Twins Fortress. Well, what I'm going to show you today, as it says on the thumbnail, is a free-to-play version. Like, you know, it might be a little bit on the technicality ways of it, but I'm gonna show you basically with my testing what I found out, like one of the easiest ways to defeat the Iron Twins. It still has this team, it's still relying on pulling one champion, and that is Geomancer. You know, I love Geomancer. I think if you've kind of noticed if you've been following me for quite a while, but the team that I will be using is something like this. So I'm using Mithrala, which obviously by the time you get to farm stage 15, you should be at the point where, like, you know, you should be close to, if not already have Mithrala. Because like Mithrala, if you just, let's say you start doing once you're like 3 months and you start slowly just getting those little fragments from the Hydra, by the time you're like 1 year in, or like a year and a half in, maybe even faster, that depends how you grind, you should already have a Mithrala. And if you do have her, then she's gonna be insane for the sake of this content, because she provides lots of good stuff, especially that ally accuracy in all battle. That's one of the things that I like the most. I'm quite sure there's gonna be different other variation, different other people that we can change in here, but it's like, you know, she was really, like I said, the reason why I like her so well is because of the aura and the buffs that she brings for the sake of our survivability. I don't have enough accuracy on her to always land the poisons. I don't have, you know, high enough resistance for her to, I mean, the resistance maybe looks fine. Sometimes she gets debuffed, sometimes not. She's built for me in a specific way for arena, and that's fast in immunity to be able to cleanse. But sometimes she lands the debuff, sometimes she doesn't. That's not why she is in this team. She is in this team for the sake of her lead and for the sake of her buffs. She brings us lots of survivability. So she brings us the increased defense, she brings the shield, she brings the strength. And so these are three of the things that are really important, and it helps us. At the same time, bringing the increased attack, it's not something that good, because that can hurt us more than help us, because we keep proccing the boss's passive where he cleanses all of the debuffs. Then at the same time, the next ones that I have in here, you see that I have two revivers, and at the same time 2 people that have decreased speed. The reason for that is I want to have 2 people that do decreased speed, because I want to have a higher chance to land a decreased speed when it's, you know, different affinities. So I have one that's magic, that's instead of the Drakes, which also provides us with healings and provides us with a revive. And then I have Tomblood, which again, he provides the decreased speed on the A1, and I'm not even using his A2. I'm strictly using him for the decrease speed on A1 and for the decreased attack and decreased defense. Even though, look at this, we don't even land it sometimes. I might need to boost a little bit his accuracy. But the whole idea is like this. You care and you want to have decreased attack in there. For this team specifically, decreased attack helps you, like, be safer. It's not, maybe it's not mandatory, you might win without it, but for the sake of being as close to 100% reliable as possible, you want that decreased attack to land in there. So as you see, the time is nothing too crazy, but like I said, from my point of view, okay, it's as free to, let's say it's as free to play as I can get. Maybe it's an overstatement, you know, I didn't bring army girls and stuff like that. It might work with army girls, might be slower. It's just this type of team I wanted to show that all revolves around Geomancer. Normally in the first video that I showed, I didn't bring decreased speed, but with that type of tactic, you want to kill the boss as fast as possible, and in order to do that, you don't put the decreased speed, and therefore every time Mithrala does all of her buffs, or whoever else you bring to do all of the buffs, the boss gets turn meter and he pushes forward and he starts attacking us, and basically he kills himself from the HP burn. However, for this team that I'm showing, it's kind of like, let's call it a speed run, but it's survivable as well. So you survive as well by having the decreased speed. You have time to rotate through your skills, put the decreased attack back in there, put the heals up, revive if you have to, put all the buffs, and then let the boss have a go. Obviously, for this type of team, you prefer to have as little, as few War Masters or Giant Slayers as possible, because the more damage you on the boss, the higher chance you have to proc his cleanse. However, you even if you proc it, still goes fine. It just maybe goes longer till you come back to all of your buffs and debuffs. Let me show you some other teams that I have tried. So for example, let me see which is the first. Okay, this is the first one. So this is the team that I already showed, the one that was playing in the background, which is, you know, same people. Then let me hide myself for a second. Then we have this team where I dropped Tomb Lord in order to bring Stag Knight in there, which is like, you know, I guess maybe you could say Stag Knight is more relatable because he's an epic. Maybe you have a higher chance to pull him, but you know, Tomb Lord is in the token trader, so that's why I call it free to play. If you don't have Tomb Lord, go for a Stag Knight. Stag Knight again, same thing, has decreased speed on the A1, and he also brings the decreased attack and decreased defense on the A2. A small caveat though, you want to have Sniper Master on him to have that 100% chance to land, unless you get 3%. Another really awesome thing about Stag Knight is he also brings decreased accuracy as a passive. So for example, if Geomancer or Syl or Mithrala or whoever else you have in this team, if they get resisted and they don't land the debuffs, guess what? Stag Knight puts an increased accuracy buff on them. So next time they come around to try and land the debuff, it's a higher chance to pro because we have the increased accuracy passively being placed by him. And then the other team that I used, that was like, you know, kind of sort of a variation of this, was with Vogoth, but basically what I wanted to do was I wanted to eliminate Vogoth because that way it's not, like I said, it's not as close to free-to-play friendly as possible, because with this team you need to pull a Vogoth, you need to pull a Geomancer, and then a Tomb Lord. So I guess honestly I hope these type of teams look pretty, you know, relatable. Maybe Mithrala is the only one that, okay, maybe people do not have yet, but like I mentioned, if we're trying to farm stage 15 with these types of teams, I don't feel that the you know, asking Driver Mithrala is a massive thing. I could drop her, but I would need to up the stats of everybody else and, you know, have some other champions in there. She's there mostly, like I said, for the stats and the aura. You can drop her and you can bring somebody else that brings that type of lead, or you can lower everybody else's speeds because you have an Arbiter and just bring any other aura in there, but you need to up everybody else's accuracy because the threshold here is close to the 600. So let me just show you the builds that I have on those people that I used, and you know, to give you a slight idea of how I'm using this. So like I said, my Mithrala is in my arena build. She's in immunity, 320 speed, with accuracy resist. Like, this accuracy is not enough to land her debuffs, as you notice. She's just straight up in my arena build, brought her in here. The speed does not have to be like this. For example, if you don't build her like this, you can just build her slow. Slow. Let's build her tankier, and if you have her at around 200, it still works. It's just she buffs a little bit later, but you're still fine because you have Arbiter in there to boost her meter on her A3 and on her A4. These are the masteries that I used on my Mithrala. You know, this one only helps for the first hit. This is something I took for the sake of arena for some different teams that I'm using her in. And then these are the sides, Master Hexer, and last thing is for the sake of buffs and debuffs that she places. Then Arbiter, straight up basic Arbiter. My Arbiter, this is her speed. You don't need her to be this fast. If yours is slow, it doesn't really matter. She's mostly in there for boosting of the turn meter, reviving if it's needed, and that's about it. Because this one doesn't help. Don't really care about the weekend. Don't care about this one. So if you have her slower and tankier, even better. You don't, this, as you notice, this tactic does not rely on resisting. It doesn't rely on resisting the Iron Brand debuff. It doesn't rely on resisting any debuffs. Any other debuffs is cleansed by Mithrala, and we're fine. Maybe, like, for example, Mithrala, instead of her, you could bring in a what's his name, Cardial. If you have a Cardial, for example, I know it's a high level one, but you know, I'm just spitballing what I have in here. Or if you don't have Mithrala, for example, who else could work good? Ursala the Mourner. She's a void epic, maybe it's easier. Then my Seal of the Drakes is in Relentless, like for the sake of any other content. I pumped up her accuracy. Normally you like to have your Seal of the Drakes for the sake of Doom Tower at around 350 accuracy, 350 resist. So maybe the easiest way to do that is have a chest or a banner that you swap when you do this. If you like really need her. So if you have 350, 350, or something like lower, just swap. For example, maybe you're using a resistance lead in Doom Tower or an accuracy one, have a chest or a, or what's it called, chest or a banner that you swap that's resistance, normally put it accuracy, and then you have the stats. So yeah, these are the stats I use on her. I put her to beat over 258 speed, but honestly, I don't really need that much, because the way that I start my team, I'm going to show you the preset, is with the turn meter boost. So she can get to be over that 250 speed. The reason why I want over 250, because that's the boss's speed, and I want to be able to place that decreased speed, or try to place the decreased speed before the boss goes. These are her masteries, in case you're wondering. Maybe War Master, like I said, doesn't help me that much here, because by doing it, we proc the boss's cleanse, but still, we're fine. And then these are the support masteries for the sake of any other content. Geomancer is my Geomancer that I use for the sake of Hydra with War Master and support tree. Then these are his stats. He's in a Reflex. Having him in a Reflex helps because I have his A2 locked and only his A3 and A1 going. So he keeps coming back to his A3 faster. He's a little bit slow, like, you know, I could get him faster, but this is the accuracy that I have on him. Maybe you'd like to be at around 450 just to be safer, but I didn't really push that further because when I'm using only one skill, the A3, guess what? This mastery kicks in. You have to think about it sometimes. Increases the accuracy by 20 when this champion has no skills on cooldown. So by having his A2 locked, not only does it help with the reflex set, but it helps to get this mastery to get that extra 20 accuracy to make sure he has a higher chance to actually land his HP burn. Then this is my Stag Knight. No masteries even on my Stag Knight, so you know, I just tried to put him in there and he still did his job. Like I said, you want to have on Stag Knight masteries and specifically Sniper because his A2 has a 95% chance of placing his debuffs. So with Sniper it gets to 100%, so you would like to have Sniper and Master Hexer, or maybe Sniper and Lasting Gifts. I'd prefer Master Hexer because Lasting Gifts is like, you know, he puts that increased accuracy, but you're not as desperate for it. It helps, but you're not as desperate. Master Hexer is helping more because if you can extend the decreased attack or decreased defense more, that helps us a lot more. He's in just triple perception again. See, I didn't take him over to 50, just gave him the 430 accuracy that I wanted, and then no damage, no other thing, just speed, accuracy, and then survivability. Then Tomb Lord is roughly kind of like the same thing, you know, accuracy, speed. For him, this is something that I did a mistake, and you guys do not do the same mistake. You want him to have 100% crit rate because otherwise he doesn't place the decreased speed on his A1. I mean, it's 3 hits. Unless you get extremely unlucky for him to not crit on all the 3 hits, you're gonna land it. But, you know, just for the sake of being sure, give him 100% crit rate. Again, give him the 430 accuracy. Don't care about the resist. 100%, 240, 250 speed, accuracy, and then survivability stats, and you're good to go. I have him in Giant Slayer mastery, but for example, maybe for the sake of other content, if you're using your Tomb Lord for the sake of soloing stuff, you might have him in Oppressor, and you might have him to have like 300 resist. The same principle. Maybe you have a resistance. Maybe you have a resistance banner. Just swap that banner out with an accuracy one, and if you get towards like the 400 accuracy mark, it's still not reliable enough, but it's closer to in order for you to do this. My Vogoth, in case you're interested, my Vogoth is in a Guardian with some other random stuff. This is my Vogoth that I used in my Baumel video, so I didn't even change anything. I just had him in there to be a mid tank to heal my team, and that's about it. So if you have him, you don't care about his speed, you don't care about resist, you don't care about accuracy, just give him HP. If you have him built for the sake of Baumel, like I showed in my previous videos, just bring him in, he works. If you have him built for the sake of Arena, bring him in, he still works. In case you're using this one, let me see. Anybody else that I forgot to show? No, I guess that was it. So from the testing that I did, the team that seemed the fastest so far for me was Mistrala, Geo, Godseeker, Rector, and Vogoth. I'm gonna pin that video in like over there or over here at the end of this one, so you can see the stats that I had because I already made a video on it. I didn't want to show it again on stage 15 because I already had it and it already worked, and that was like the 2 minutes and 1 second that you saw. The reason why this team is good is because she brings heals, she brings revive on death, she brings heals from here and the extension of buffs that Mithrala puts. Rector Draft brings a chance to put a decreased attack on the A1, more heals and Perfect Veil, which obviously is damage mitigation, revive, and the passive gives us some more healing, more resist, and more other stuff, you know. Again, I didn't have any masteries on this one either. But yeah, this is gonna be my video for today. Hope you enjoyed it, guys. Hope this was, you know, slightly relatable to you, and hope this gives you ideas and ways of how to farm this boss as fast as you can with, you know, without changing too many builds on your champions. Or maybe you have some of these champions you don't use anywhere else, and you're saying, you know what, let me just bring this champion in here. Like for example, I have my Tomb Lord. I don't use him anywhere else, so for the sake of reliability, I'm just gonna build my Tomb Lord for this sake and for this boss, and he's gonna always be in there to give me my decreased speed and my decreased attack and decreased defense. Oh yeah, let me just show you the presets because I mentioned that and I don't want to forget. Okay, can I show you here? Let me just go somewhere else, like any other one. Iron Fortress. Okay, so the presets I have, I make her open with the A1 because she's the second fastest. If I open with the buffs, the boss goes in front, and you know, I don't get the chance to put the decrease speed, to put the HP button. I don't want to lose that chance. I just open with the A1. If she's slower than 250 and she doesn't go before the boss, you can let her do whatever she wants. Still with the Drakes, I make her open with the A1, close the A2 because I don't care about it. I just care about the A1 to keep having a chance of placing that decreased speed in there. And her passive is what I care mostly about. Healing and some increased speed on our team does not hurt. Geomancer, like I said, lock his A2, just use his A3 and his A1. Stagnite, I didn't do anything. The same thing with when I had Tomb Lord, I locked his A2. I don't care about the poisons, like it helps us kill him faster, but for the sake of reliability, again, I locked it out just so he keeps doing the A1, A3, A1, and A3. That's all I care, because, you know, I prefer reliability than, you know, getting 30 seconds faster. If it's 100% reliable like this, or it's like 90% reliable but 30 seconds faster, I'm gonna take the 100% one. Then Arbiter I made open with the A4, not the A3, because the A3 gives us increased attack and it boosts the boss's turn meter. So A4, A3, and then whatever else, doesn't really matter. I did the A2 kind of like for the sake of animations, because doing the A2, it's like an ranged skill, so that should make it faster. But yeah, this is gonna be it for the video today, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope this is helpful, and you know, if you enjoy my content, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'm gonna see you in the next one. Peace, love, take care everyone. Bye, guys.